Hey guys, how you doing? This is your first notes for geometry online for the video for Geo section 1, chapter 1. The things that we're looking at here is just working with the basics of geometry and point, lines, and space. So what things do you notice in the classroom that could be described by the geometry terms points, lines, segments, parallel or perpendicular, or better yet, around your room? If you're looking at where the wall meets the ceiling, or the intersection of a line of the floor or the ceiling, you got line segments, you got corners in the room as the walls come together. And you've got parallel things, support brackets for ceilings running north, south, east, west if we were in the classroom. But at home, you probably have your ceiling and floor, assuming it's not a vaulted ceiling. For things that are perpendicular, you have walls to the floor or walls to the ceiling. Okay, as you're looking through, make sure you're starting to recognize where all these pieces kind of form your day to keep your house erect. The next thing we're going to be looking at is a net. Okay, and a net is a two-dimensional diagram that you can fold to form a three-dimensional figure. A net shows all the surfaces of a figure in one view. So we've got some nets here. I say with your row partner here, but you can look along and try to connect things. But you have the two-dimensional net with the three-dimensional figure. So as we're looking at this, if I'm looking at this pink circle with this partial quadrant of a circle here, you're wondering which shape on the bottom it makes if I were to fold it. So the shape that makes is going to be, if I kind of look through, this is going to connect to the cone. So this is the net of the cone, and this is the three-dimensional for the cone. What I want you to do is take time right now and find the others. Okay, just turn off the tape, and you find the others that these nets connect to with these three-dimensional shapes. Okay, turn it off now. Welcome back. Now, you should have probably noticed that this cube and this cube connect, and this prism is here, this triangular prism, not necessarily drawn to scale. This is a tetrahedron coming through here, or triangular pyramid. You've got a cylinder here, and that'll finish out our shapes. Now, considering the cube above, if we use C as the bottom of the cube, and C will be the bottom, we just have it focused out so you guys can see it, so we can talk about it. What letter will be on top? If C is the bottom, and I start folding these in, and I fold the E down, I fold the F up, and the D crossed, and the B is round, what letter will be opposite the C will make the top? And it should be letter A. You'll see that A is going to come around. What I want you to do is take time right now and find out what letter will be on the right side, and this is the right side of the cube, the right side. Okay, what letter will be on the right side? And if we use B as the bottom of the cube, what letter will be on top? And what letter will be on the left side if we use B as the bottom? So go ahead and take time to do that, and turn it off, and then turn it back on after you're done. Okay, hopefully you were able to find that A was the first one, and then D was the right side here, and it was pretty straight up. And then we have D and A for the next ones. Now, in this next one, this drawing of a net, I have pre-drawn this figure, and the biggest thing isn't about the drawing or how pretty it is, it's connecting sides. Right along this side is here. That's here and here. Okay, I have these two sides here, and that's this far side as well. Now, if I'm talking about the top and the bottom, this top here and the bottom down here, I'm looking at this and this being my top and bottom. And so I've set them up. So I've got a 3 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But so every one of these is 2 units. Every one of my squares is 2 units. Now I did it that way just to have a nice easy way to sketch out the figure. You could just freehand it on the side here underneath. But I wanted to make sure that you understood that we were going to have units and there's going to be scale and everything involved with this shape. But the last one, this last part, remember this is a rectangular prism, so I'm going to have 6 shapes, 6 sides, 1, 2, 3, 4 for the lateral surface and 2 for the basis, so I've got 6. My last part of the shape, the graham cracker front, is right here. Okay, that's this and the back. Every shape in a prism, in this rectangular prism, there's a companion opposite it. So keep that in mind who's looking at it. So what is the net of the graham cracker box at the right? Label the net with its dimensions. And as you see, I labeled with dimension. This is 20, this is 14, these are 6, this is 6, this is 6, that's 14. Now as we go on, we can look at other things. We're looking at, what is the net for the figure at the right, and we have a triangular prism. Now there's a couple ways I can do this triangular prism, but I'm going to talk about it as peeling down this side and this side. And remember, the triangles are the bases of this prism, although it is not what it's sitting on. The lateral surface is the shape going around it, and we have the dimensions here of 10 centimeters, 10 centimeters, and 7 centimeters, and it's 4 centimeters deep. So when I want to be able to draw this net here, I'm just going to peel this triangle down, peel that triangle, and unfold the sides. So you'll see that here I peeled the triangle down. Now again, I'm just using the grid to help me kind of get a clue of what it is. Not everything's exact. I tried to go with my 2s. This is my 4 deep. This is my 7 base. And this is about 9.35 high. But it's just a sketch. And we're looking at labeling the net with its dimensions, not nest, but the net. It should be a net. You should make that change. Let's make that change on our notes right now. That label the net with its dimensions. Now, is there another possible net for the figure in part A? Now, another possible net, it's just another way of me unfolding it. So when you look at it, maybe instead of flopping it out the way I did, peeling everything around, just undo it this way. So I got my 4, my 10, my 7, and my 10 here, and this again should be 10 here, and this is also 10, this is also 10. And I didn't give you a really great chance to figure out the height. You could use Pythagorean theorem if you recall that, but I'm not going to worry about that today. Okay, so I've got these 2 possible nets for this particular shape. Okay, let's slide on here. Now, we also have isometric drawing. Now, this isometric drawing paper, this is just something that I want you to make a drawing of these shapes. Now, let's pretend that this filing cabinet isn't open. That'll make our drawing a lot easier. When we're doing this, you're going to set it up and as an isometric drawing. And I'm going to go 2 units, and the only reason, you could do singles, but I'm going 2 so you can see it better. So I'm going to go 2 units, and I'm going to go across here, and I make the top square. So I've made the top, and now from the top, I'm going to extend down my bottom stuff, and extend down my bottom, and extend down my bottom, and finish out my other shapes. Now I'm just going to show where the drawer is. If you want to even put the handle in, you could, but it's not important for us to do that. But you notice how I did that drawing as I went through, and I'm going to do it again. So as you're doing it, make sure you do it on yours, and we will make sure that you get isometric draw paper while you're in class. Okay, as we go through. Oop, this might be a little long. That is a little long. Somebody can't count. So we'll bring it back to the right size. And we'll do that again. Okay, so let's bring it around, and that's our shape. Now what I'd like you to do is do the next 2. Give them a try, see what's up. This is the one you're doing. Okay, so start with the top. All right, as you go, start with the top. And then extend out. I'm going to go to 4 because I'm going 2, so I'm going to go down 4. And I'm going a little bit more involved on this. That's my left side, and now I'm going to kind of get my right side framework in there, and I'm going to connect across. And I've got that going on. Okay, give this one a try, this last one, and see how you do. Turn it off and see what you do on your own. Remember, if you don't try it, you can't learn it. So give it a good try as you're going through. Okay, welcome back. We've got this. We've got this going on. Remember the things that we had to do. We needed to start, doing our square on top. And if we just go through and make these things go on, we're able to do this. Me and my mouse don't really work real well together as we go through and make our sketches. Okay, and that is, keep in mind, these are isometric drawings, okay, and it shows a corner of a three-dimensional figure, okay, it allows you to see the top, front, and side, okay, now those are isometric drawings. Now, a net shows a three-dimensional figure as a folded out flat surface. An isometric drawing shows a three-dimensional figure using slanted lines to represent depth, and we have isometric paper for that. The last thing we're going to do is an orthographic drawing. This shows three separate views of a three-dimensional figure two-dimensionally. So it shows the top view, the front view, and the right view as flat views. Okay, an orthographic drawing takes more time to analyze, but provide unique information about the structure. So as we're doing this, if this is you, okay, and I put black lines, black little segments in our fronts, that's what the F is, those are our fronts. And if this is you looking down, what's it going to look like from on top? And pretend you're, like 1,000 feet and got a really good scope and you're right above it. What's it going to look like, this filing cabinet? Well, the top of the filing cabinet is going to look like a square as you look down from the front. Now, keep in mind, we're looking down from the front, and we're going to go to the front, and we're going to look at it from this front angle right here. And as you look at it from the front angle, this is what I see. Remember, it's kind of a silhouette. If I was going to shine a flashlight on it, what's the shadow that would make it would make on the wall? Okay, and then the right. This is the right side here. So the right is just going to be pretty much what the front looks like in this particular shape. So that's my right side. Now as the shapes get more involved, and you'll notice these are the same shapes we had on the previous page. The top, again, if I'm looking down from the top, okay, I'm looking down, I've got my top, and I've got this and this. When you have a depth change in an orthographic drawing, you show the depth change as a line. And again, remember, I did not show the depth change here because of the drawer was halfway pulled out. I didn't show that because we're just going to assume it's not there for our first drawing. Here, I've got that depth change, so I'm going to look at the top from going down the top. I've got these two squares going through, and if I look at the front and top will look at the same type of drawing, because of the depth change. I got the front, and that it kind of steps back. Now if I look at the right, which is over on the back side here, it's going to look like kind of an L going to the left here. Okay, so this is my right side. Okay, now keep in mind as we're getting these done, this is a two-dimensional drawing, and based on these two-dimensional drawings, we can reconstruct a three-dimensional figure with the depth markings shown here with the lines. Now in this last one, you're still going to do a top, front, and right. I want you to give it a try on your own. Remember, you're right here. You're looking out here, and this is the front. So you got a depth. There's a depth here, there's a depth here, and there's a change here. So go ahead, turn it off, and give it a try. Welcome back. Now the top, okay, is looking like this. If I look down from the top, the front, remember those depths in this side, okay? That's what that front's going to look like. You've got that flat side here. I've got a depth here, and I should have had another depth there. For some reason, I erased it. So there should be another depth right there and right here. And then when I'm looking at the right, I've got the right, and I've got the right sitting here because the right and the front kind of look alike, but the right, remember, is a flat surface. There isn't anything on this side. Okay, and that's what the orthographic drawing. It takes a three-dimensional figure and represents it in three two-dimensional approaches, top, front, and right. Well, that's it for notes today for section 1.1. This is the assignment. I hope things are going well. Now keep in mind the assignments will be due and we'll correct them when you're in class. So if you've caught this video, the next time you're in class, we'll be discussing your solutions and we'll correct it and we'll hand it in. I hope things are going well. If you have any questions, please try to email me what you got for a question, but try to make sure that you see what you can do, and we can also field those questions in person as well. I hope things are going well. Take care.